Apple, Coca-Cola, and Nike are some of the most recognizable companies in the world, but one company that consistently makes the list for most powerful brands on earth is Ferrari. Enzo Ferrari started building road cars in the 40s to support his racing team, which is why so many of Ferrari's early street cars were so similar to the ones on track. He didn't want to build road cars at all, but when he did, they were glorious. Starting with the 250 GTO, then the 288 GTO, Ferrari built some of the most hardcore road cars in the world. But what came next took things to a whole new level. In the early 80s, Enzo realized his health had begun to deteriorate and wanted to leave a lasting mark on his company and the car world as a whole. He was determined to make this last car something worthy of his legacy, insisting that anything that wasn't needed to make the car faster wouldn't be included at all. That meant no electric locks, no electric mirrors, manual door winders, and no sound deadening. It had climate control, but honestly it was a joke, because a functional system would have added weight. There aren't even door handles and only a tiny patch of carpet so you don't scratch the carbon fiber floor. When the F40 went on sale in 1987, it immediately became the greatest car ever made. A lightweight carbon Kevlar body draped over a steel tubular chassis, a giant wing, and twin-turbo V8 in the back, it was the purest driving experience available anywhere. Ferrari originally intended to build 400, but due to high demand, over 1,300 got made. The F50 took things to the next level. Sure, it added some amenities like a door handle and AC that worked mostly. It even had one of the first front axle lift systems in a road car, but everything else was even more hardcore than the F40. Customers wanted a taste of Ferrari race car technology. They wanted what was in F1. The F50 was built around a full carbon tub, with an F1 drive V12 in the back, a big wing, and nothing that wasn't needed. It even still had hand-cranked windows. In a Ferrari from the mid-90s. Problem was, customers hated it. It was a case of be careful what you wish for. The two main sticking points were the fact that it wasn't any faster or more powerful than the decade-old F40, and around some tracks it was actually slower. The other thing they complained about was the harsh ride. But what do you expect with a car with the engine bolted directly to a carbon fiber tub? People expected more from supercars in the 90s. They not only wanted to be seen in something fast and exotic, they wanted something comfortable, something easy to drive. They didn't want to move their arms around and make the window go up and down. But once again, it was a case of be careful what you wish for. The F50 remains perhaps the purest Ferrari road car ever made. In 2002, the Enzo was unveiled to the world, and the philosophy of a no-compromise race car for the road was gone. Working climate control, carpet-lined trunk, even an automatic transmission. At least the paddle shifters were a link to racing. The last V12 supported race car had retired from competition years earlier. The Enzo was more comfortable, more usable. It didn't even have a wing, and yet things somehow got worse. The Holy Trinity, the McLaren P1, Porsche 918, and LaFerrari. Stupid name. It was the three most successful names in motorsport, putting their collective knowledge into building the most advanced supercars the world had ever seen, and we all loved it. But there's the problem. Fast Ferraris shouldn't be about the technology, they should be about the experience. During the development of the F40, Porsche was working on its own world-beating supercar. The 959 was a technological powerhouse with everything from all-wheel drive, traction control, active suspension, you name it. When the F40 was unveiled, the company made a point about who Ferrari were fundamentally. They said, customers had been saying our cars were becoming too plush and comfortable. It isn't a laboratory for the future, it's not Star Wars. But LaFerrari was Star Wars. Electric mirrors, locks and windows, USB connected audio, complicated active aero, it even has a hybrid system. The idea of a no-compromise Ferrari was dead. There's been little hope for the brand since then. Every fast road car Ferrari have built in the last decade have featured similar compromises. Hybridization is here in force, comfort amenities litter the cabin, and aerodynamics have seemingly turned into a bad word. They even build an SUV now, something not that long ago they swore they would never do. But maybe all is not lost. Other companies may be able to lend inspiration to a revitalized Ferrari, one that builds the car true enthusiasts have been waiting for since the turn of the century. Look at what Lamborghini did, creating the Huracan STO, or Aston Martin with the Valkyrie, or better yet, look at the company that's been Ferrari's closest competitor in the supercar space since the F40. Porsche takes the 911 and transforms it into the purest form of road-legal race car with the GT3 RS. Stripped down, lots of power, big wing, it's unadulterated insanity. That's what we really want, some craziness. A big wing. Build us the Ferrari version of the McLaren Senna, not an SUV.